Have y'all ever thought about what you would do if the internet went out? Like, she gone, he gone. What you gonna do? Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. Stick around. We're gonna talk about what you're gonna do to prepare for us having no internet one day. I got you. Stick around. Welcome back, fam. Tasha, Mama Bear Prepping. So today we're going to get into something that I take pretty serious, and that is prepping for no internet. So we're going to get into this. Before we get started, if you are coming back to the page and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're brand new to the channel and you like what you hear today and you want to get more information about prepping for your family, getting your family ready for any kind of emergencies, and of course my fave, food preservation, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. So let's get into it. So when we talk about the internet and prepping, right, let me just tell you, like, I'm not even gonna say we all, a large majority of the population depend on the internet and have a very, very intimate relationship with it, okay? And so we have to do things to get ready for the day that either our system is hacked, the grid goes down, there's no power, there's no internet, whatever the case may be. We can't rely on the fact that that internet is always gonna be there, because think about how many times you go into the internet a day to get some sort of information, and then imagine you don't have that. So I'm just gonna walk you through some basics. I did write this stuff down, y'all, so I can make sure that I hit it all. But we're gonna talk about what you can do today to get ready for the day that there's no internet. So we're just gonna run through them. Number one is, look how I had to look already, recipes. So do you know that there's a lot of people that don't even know how to cook? People are relying on Uber Eats, getting their food delivered, going through the drive-through, fast food, and they don't have no food in their house, okay? So beyond trying to prepare and have food and water in your home, be thinking about recipes and how you cook and how you would continue to do your recipes after you can't get them off your Pinterest account, okay? So the way you get around that, you need to be printing off your recipes, writing your recipes down and put them in an old-fashioned recipe box. Ooh, imagine that, old-fashioned. And just making sure that you have everything together in one spot so that you can cook stuff. That could be cookbooks, having books that have different recipes, printing off the stuff from Pinterest, or just writing down your own recipes. And this is important because even if you're like a huge cook and you're really good at what you do and everybody knows, ooh, she can cook, she could throw down, he could throw down. But the fact still remains that God forbid something happens to you and now your family is going and doesn't know how to cook that delicious soup that you make in the crock pot. You've made it 1,000 times, but you're no longer there, or you're sick, or you're down for the count, and they have to be the ones to cook. So you want to make sure that you have your recipes and how to cook things written down in a physical form. So how to make bread, right? Simple things. How to boil water. Now, if you don't know how to boil water at this point, child, you behind. But you need to get your shit together and write down and print out your favorites and basic recipes and how to do basic stuff. This goes for canning. So what I started doing was every time I do a canning recipe now, I write it down. I get it from wherever I'm getting it from, whatever source, and I print it out and I write it down and I put it in my recipe box so that I have it, so that, again, I'm down for the count, something happens, the lights go out, we got to start canning. My family can start canning essentially by looking at my recipe box. Okay, moving on. Maps. Okay. We constantly are going online to find a location, find out how far a location is from us, figure out how to GPS to a location, a friend, whatever the case may be. We are constantly dependent on the internet for figuring out how to physically get to places. So you prepare by getting maps. That's a couple things, okay? That's get yourself the big atlas map that you can get at Walmart or Amazon that has the entire United States, okay? So it will have the entire United States, and then it typically has each state broken down. You're gonna wanna have maps for your state. You're gonna wanna have them for your city. So city maps, more intimate of the local streets around you, where you live and where any of your important family members live. So you need to know, hey, how could you get to your parents' house? How could you get to a sibling's house? This is important because Yes, maybe you've gone somewhere 1,000 times and you're like, no, I'll know how to get there. But what happens if that family member has gone now somewhere else and you don't know how to get to that new location? Okay. I cannot stress how important maps are going to be. And you're going to want to have maps in a couple different places. You're going to want to have maps in your home, of course. You're going to want to have them in your car kit. You want to have maps in there. Maybe your bug out bag, if you have some sort of bag to go somewhere, to get home, to go to another location, whatever the case may be. You want to have maps everywhere, and you want to make sure that your family knows how to use them and knows the basics, because again, this is not stuff that they're teaching our kids in school these days. So maps, show your family how to use them. Make sure you have them everywhere. Super important, because you're not going to be able to get on the internet and figure out how to get to places. Okay. All right. Third thing, contacts. So your family, okay, their phone number and their addresses. Yes, again, you might know where they live. You might be able to get right to them. Maybe the phone lines are down, maybe they're not. If their internet's down, there's a good chance there's no power, and there's a good chance that the phone lines could be down. Maybe the landlines work, who knows? But you want to have this stuff written down so that if you get an opportunity to call somebody and your phone's dead and you can't get in there, then you're able to make contact with your family, or the address, so you know how to get to them and can figure out with the maps that you have physically how to get to where you need to go. Okay. All right. So that's the third. Fourth is how-to books. So how-to forms of education. So manuals, printouts, books. So imagine having to figure out now all the things that we run to the internet to figure out how to do. How to can food, how to make a recipe, how to build an smokehouse. So how to build something, how to garden, how to make bread, how to do anything in life, how medical stuff, what plants are good, what plants are bad. There's a multitude of things that we run to the internet to get information about. And so the more that we have that stuff in a physical form, the better. So my favorite is how-to books. So I have books on gardening, I have books on prepping, I have books on shelter making and surviving, I have books on medical stuff, how to do basic medical medicinal plants, what plants you can eat, which plants are good for medicine. Just you name it, get those books in a physical form, okay, or a manual, or maybe you have a video that you can print out the steps to making that garden box you wanted to do. Whatever it is that you feel like you're going to need help doing, like maybe it's a project that down the road you're going to be doing, print out how to do it now. And then books about the basics, things that that you would need to know how to do in the future, because you cannot run to the internet and get it. Get those books and those materials now in a physical form, so that you're ready to go, and so that you're not scrambling so much when you have a project or something comes up later in the future, excuse me, and you don't have, the know-how. Okay. Maybe there's a YouTube channel that you follow because they do all types of how-to stuff. They show you how to do stuff. Watch that video and write it down on a little index card of how to do the said thing that they want to do. I'm getting into canning, so it's like I need to start printing those recipes off. I can't can everything I want to can possibly this week, but there's a ton of stuff that I want to do. So starting to print that stuff out and write it down now so that I have it for the future. Okay. All right. Two more things. So one is comms. So how are you going to communicate when the internet's down? Yes, maybe you still have your phone, but is the power out too? Is the cell service out? Are you able to even use it? How are you going to be communicating with your family, and then making sure that they all know that? So is that, is that an emergency little radio so that you're going to get the basics about what's going on around you? Is it a CB radio? Is it some walkie-talkies so that you can talk to each other internally? Is it a ham radio? Like, what is the way that you're communicating? Also with that is having your emergency plan on and discussing it so that where you were supposed to go or how you were going to communicate should something happen. Okay, maybe there's no comms down and you need to know that the plan is, hey, you go to this location. If there's no comms and we have no communication, this is what you do. Or you sit tight until somebody comes there and you do not move, and that is the plan. If there's no comms and you can't get a hold of me, okay, we have plans in place that if something happens, the kids know exactly what to do. If there's no comms and they cannot get a hold of us, they know exactly what to do. Okay, so that's part of your comms plan, and making sure you know what's going. So preparing for this is just emergency plan with your family, and then of course buying whatever said piece of communication. Start with just a basic emergency radio that you can get off of any website for about $20, so that you can get the basic news, AM, FM radio, that you can get the basic news about what's going on in case there's no internet, no TV, none of that stuff is going on, so that you can get an idea of what's going on out there. Okay. And then lastly, I put purchasing and banking. Okay. Think about, there's no internet, so there's no bank service, there's no ATMs, none of that stuff is working. Okay. Stores are not taking your credit cards, gas stations are not taking your credit cards. Some of that stuff's not even going to work because it's all connected to the internet, and it's all an intricate, intimate relationship within itself. Okay. So you are going to make sure that, and I'm sure if you've watched any channels, a tip from preppers is always make sure that you have cash. So you're going to want to keep cash in your home. Okay. And very, very small bills. So $1 bills, $5 bills, right? So that you are able to still purchase stuff should there be no internet and no power. Okay. If you've got to purchase propane or gas, or you need food and water, whatever the case may be, you need to have some money to be able to do that. Okay. Yes. If the dollar is not worth anything and we're to that point, then now we're talking about bartering. But my point is, you have to have a way to purchase things and get things. And that's either cash, that's being able to barter something. Just be thinking about what you're going to do when you can't swipe that credit card anymore and you can't get to your money, right? You might have a ton of money in the bank and then you can't even get to it. So you need to have some of that pulled out and put somewhere safe, so that you can get to where you need to get to, purchase what you need to get purchased. And this goes for your home. This goes for any kind of bug out bags, get home bags, your car kit. You need to have a little bit of money here and there. Now, you don't need a whole lot in those other locations, but in home, in your main location, you need to be working on an increase of having that. So start with a couple $100, low bills, and then go from there. Okay, then 500, then 1,000. Okay, but you need to have cash money. Okay. So that's it. I hope that, you guys are thinking now about what you would do if there is no internet, and things that you can get or buy, or ways to prepare, because a lot of this stuff is free. It's just you going on the internet and either printing it or writing it down. If you don't have a printer, take the time to write this stuff down. Get you an old-fashioned piece of paper and a pen, go online and start writing down the stuff that matters to you. Whether that's recipes, whether that's how to do something, whether that's writing down all your family's information. Go on Amazon when you get paid and buy one thing at a time. Okay, buy a couple maps one payday, and the next time get the radio. Okay, so just little by little. You don't have to be a millionaire to get this stuff done. Just get it done though. Okay, if you haven't subscribed yet, I urge you to please do that so that you can get more information about prepping and we can be in this community together. Please, in the comments below, let me know, what are you doing? Maybe something you think I forgot, so that we can help each other. Okay, and then until next time, you guys take care of each other. All right, bye.